Have you ever made a snap judgment about someone or a situation, only to realize later you were way off? That gut feeling you trusted, that quick conclusion you drew, it's not random. It's a mental shortcut called a cognitive bias, deeply wired into your brain. But here's the chilling truth. These biases aren't just quirks. They're preyed upon, weaponized by manipulators in politics, sales, and relationships to control your reality and decisions, often without you even noticing. Every day, your brain sifts through a flood of information, desperately trying to make sense of a chaotic world. To keep up, it uses mental shortcuts called cognitive biases, automatic patterns of thinking that simplify complex decisions. Sounds harmless, right? But these shortcuts come with a dark side. They blind you to nuance, reinforce stereotypes, and, without warning, distort your perception of reality. Biases like confirmation bias make you favor information that confirms what you already believe, ignoring anything that challenges your worldview. Anchoring bias locks your judgment to the first piece of info you receive, often misleading you when fresh data emerges. And availability bias makes the most recent or emotional events loom larger than they should. These biases operate beneath conscious awareness, creating invisible traps. And manipulators know exactly how to exploit these blind spots to hijack your thinking. Now here's where it gets disturbing. These cognitive biases aren't just academic concepts. They're the bread and butter of modern manipulation. In politics, leaders feed confirmation bias by repeating catchy slogans, echo chambers, and selective facts to harden public opinion and divide societies. Massive social media algorithms prioritize emotionally charged posts, magnifying availability bias by flooding your feed with fear or outrage. In sales, anchors are set with high initial prices so every discount feels like a huge saving, a classic anchoring bias trap. Limited time offers stoke scarcity bias, pushing you to buy impulsively before you think critically. Even relationships aren't safe. Recall when someone you trusted gave you mixed signals. That was manipulation playing on ambiguity bias, coercing you into doubt and submission. And here's the kicker. These tactics blend so seamlessly into everyday life that spotting them becomes nearly impossible. You know how manipulative systems invisibly erode your defenses. But what actually happens in your brain? It's more than just faulty logic. It's a neurological hijack. Cognitive biases originate from ancient survival strategies designed to make fast decisions. Your brain's limbic system reacts first, triggering emotional responses before your rational cortex even registers the data. Manipulators leverage this split-second gap, flooding your emotional brain with selective stimuli that confirm biases, bypassing your critical thinking. This emotional hijack is why biased information feels so convincing, even when it defies facts. Neural pathways strengthen with repetition, making biased thinking habits harder to break over time. The more you consume manipulative content that aligns with your biases, the more your brain rewires itself for distortion and mistrust. It's a vicious cycle. Once caught in bias exploitation, your filter for reality darkens, undermining autonomy and self-awareness. And this is where the story takes a dark turn, because awareness alone isn't enough to break free. Consider this: bias exploitation isn't confined to individual bad actors. It's a system-wide weapon, embedded across global media, marketing, and political institutions. Big data analytics scours your online behavior to tailor manipulative messages that exploit your unique biases with terrifying precision. This personalized bias manipulation scales to millions, influencing election outcomes, consumer habits, and social divisions in real time. Think of it as psychological warfare, not with guns, but with your own mind as the battlefield. The advent of deepfakes, fake news, and hyper-targeted ads amplify this effect exponentially. It's not just about tricking one person but reshaping collective perception on a massive scale. What's even more unsettling is how normalized it's become. We willingly surrender our mental autonomy for convenience, unaware that every swipe and click deepens our cognitive captivity. Manipulators don't need to coerce. They engineer a perfect storm of bias, even desirable. But here's the thing, and the most dangerous part. Some cognitive biases are especially potent tools in the manipulator's arsenal, primed to dismantle your rational defenses. Confirmation bias, as mentioned, locks you into echo chambers that reinforce falsehoods. Then there's the Dunning-Kruger effect, where people with limited knowledge overestimate their competence, making them vulnerable to persuasion and unable to recognize manipulation. The bandwagon effect drives herd behavior, pushing you to adopt beliefs or trends simply because everyone else is doing it. Another critical bias is negativity bias. Our brains weigh bad news more heavily than good, so manipulators amplify fears and threats to keep you anxious and compliant. The false consensus effect tricks you into believing your views are universal, inhibiting openness and dialogue. These biases work together like a psychological vice, cutting off your ability to question, adapt, and resist. But understanding these is exactly how you start peeling back the layers of manipulation. Recognizing cognitive bias exploitation is the first line of defense. Start by cultivating awareness of your own biases. Check your impulse to jump to conclusions or dismiss opposing views outright. Practice slowing down decisions, seeking out information that challenges your beliefs instead of just confirming them. Protective techniques like journaling your thought patterns or consulting trusted, diverse sources can weaken bias traps over time. In digital spaces, use fact-checking tools and limit exposure to emotionally charged content designed to exploit availability and negativity biases. Emotion interrupt the automatic limbic hijack, allowing rational thinking to catch up. Importantly, build social connections that encourage healthy debate. Manipulative bias exploitation thrives on isolation, repetition, and emotional triggers. The more you expose your mind to diverse viewpoints and cultivate critical reflection, the harder it becomes for manipulators to control your decisions and perceptions. You've just uncovered the hidden battlefield inside your mind, where cognitive biases, once survival tools, become weapons against your own autonomy. Next week, we're going even deeper, diving into how narratives are crafted and weaponized to rewrite reality itself. If you found this eye-opening, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell, and join us for the next unsettling chapter in the manipulator's playbook. This is where understanding becomes power, and power, when wielded wisely, is freedom.